Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the Extraordinary Drummer Show. As you know, I'm your host, Sharon Moore. You know, I always say today, today, today. Well, family, you see him. You see him, right? You know, it's interesting. I'm going to say at a sort of young age, this guy is already being called a legend. Can you believe that?
Yeah, right. I'm a
A
legend
master.
in my own mind. Yeah. Mm.
You know, when it comes to the main gig, when it comes to someone who's going to get it on the first take, when it comes to someone you can depend on, won't even know he's in the room unless he speak. This guy gets the call. I can think of so many great bands and groups he played with: Bonnie Raitt, Tower Power. I can go on and on and on and on and on, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse today. A
Mm.
pony, how's that?
There you go.
Better
How you
than,
doing, man? How's it going?
oh, well, thank you. You helped me welcome my guest today. Dear friend from way back, Herman Matthews. Hey, Herman.
Hey, how's it
Welcome to,
going?
hey, going well, man. Welcome to Extraordinary Drummer Show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's our delight, man. How you been?
I've been well. Everything is, it's what it is.
Yeah, man. You look mellow, man.
I'm good. Just, I've been working and it's been a grind. I mean, nowadays, I can't pick and choose like I used to. So I'm doing everything. So, you know.
You know, I wanted to have you on the show today and talk about a few things. I'm going to jump around a little bit,
Okay.
um, but I want to talk about discipline. I
Mm.
want to talk about the climate of drums today. I'll get in trouble for saying this, but a guy's playing music, a guy's playing drums, a guy's playing in the band. Uh,
Right.
what
That's
do you
that.
think?
It's the constant. It's the battle. I mean, it's the ongoing debate with us older musicians or drummers, and I, I blame it on where music is today. And I guess what I'm saying is that when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, um, I listened to the radio and 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 the records that my parents had, as far as pop music or popular music in the soul R&B category, and I didn't hear a lot of playing. I heard people playing the tunes. Um, my two major idols, who were Al Jackson Jr. and Earl Palmer, they were groove guys. So listening to the radio and listening to all the drummers on the radio, I didn't hear drum solos. I didn't hear drummers taking liberties, uh, playing over the bar and doing certain things. I mean, that came much later. Now, and I think I mentioned this to you before. I'm not mad at the younger drummers who have taken on, I guess, taken on the mission to do what they've been hearing or growing up with. Church drumming, um, listening to more fusion or more jazz and incorporating that into pop music. Now it is part of the culture. Now it is part of the drumming. So I'm not mad at them. I guess the thing that bothers me is that they don't know when to use it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as I try to explain to young drummers or just drummers, um, I want you to eat the white meat and the dark meat, and I want you to enjoy it. Um, I want you to eat the whole bird. You dig what I'm saying? Um, um, and no offense to those of you who are vegetarians or vegans and all, but But what I'm saying is that I want you to know when to use the gift that you've been given. So it's, there's a time to let people know that you have a lot of drums and you want to play every one of them, and you want to play that, in inverted parallel lick that starts off with a hi-hat foot, bounces off the cowbell, and nothing but net kind of fill. But also, too, I want you to understand that there's a time when all you have to do is just I mean, that's music too. So I don't know. I mean, do you feel me?
Herman, the thing is, as I talk to, and this is not a show where we're bashing anyone, but we're just kind of pulling the cover off and look at things compared to where we came from, where we are, and where it looks like we're going.
Yeah.
Do you think grooving is gone, Herman?
Do I think groove is gone?
Yeah. Do you think grooving, we've seen the last of it?
No. I mean, we'll come back to it. I mean, or it will be something. I mean, I think everyone, people, they have an inner thing. Whether they can express it or not is a different thing. But they have an inner groove, inner jungle thing. And literally, it is just from that thing, and that's grooving, And I mean, and literally, after all of the things that have been done, it comes back to the heart of the groove. It comes back to what I like to consider the money beat.
What we're talking about is discipline. But I don't know whether to phrase it this way or frame it that way. You are known as one of the greatest pocket players. I was talking to Pat Brown the other day. You know Pat.
Yeah.
He just loves you, man. He just loves you. You say Herman, and you got a friend with Pat, man. And I love Pat as well.
Yeah.
But you are one of the greatest pocket players. What goes through your mind to make you not get up off that pocket and do that great roll or get a little busy in there? What is it that makes that happen, that you stay there, stay up under that pocket?
Well, like Jeff Beccaro told me, he says, keep them dancing, man. Just keep them dancing. And that's sort of the thing that goes through my head. I'm trying to make a record every time I sit down and play, and so when growing up and playing in bands, and I played in bands, from, since I was a kid, and I've always had players, or my elders, if you will, would always look at me whenever I started to do a big fill, and they would look at me and go, that's when I was a kid, Even my uncle, I played in his organ trio, and whenever I would, go for something, he would, because back then they just wanted to hear the groove. They wanted to hear pocket. So that's what I was raised on. So when I hear music, I just don't hear, doing big fills. I hear staying in the pocket. Yeah, sure. Put a period on the end of a chorus, or bridge it into the verse, from the verse to the chorus, or into the bridge. But it doesn't take a huge roll, a huge, I don't know, fill in order to make that happen. And it's like when I heard Ricky Lawson playing with Steely Dan, and also I heard Dennis Chambers playing with Steely Dan. Two different drummers, two different takes. But man, both of them were amazing. both of them were, it was educational. It was music. So, I just I don't have it in me to play a big fill. Um, and once again, when I'm playing records, no one ever wants to hear a big fill. I've never been asked to do, give me that fill, Herman, give me that magic, give me that. No. But everyone is always saying, make it feel good. As Wilden Felder would say of the Crusaders, give me that hump. Give me that hump, man. Give me that Texas hump. So that's my upbringing. That's where. Now, once again, I'm not ragging on anyone who feels that they have to put in that fill. Just do it tastefully, is what I ask.
How many years you playing now, Herman?
Wow. I stopped counting actually.
Phew.
No, I say that because I started playing when I was 7 years old, learning to play. I started playing in clubs when I was 11 years old, and that was with my uncle's organ trio. So I guess, I started taking money as a player when I was 11 years old. I'm 64 years old now, and proud to be 64 and proud to be able to sit back and still play, and not have any physical elements or anything of that nature. And still proud of the fact that I can lay down a pocket, So yeah, I've been playing a lot of years, and being known, I guess, as a pocket player, I'm very proud of that. Very proud of it.
I mean, we do a thing on the show we call Word of Advice.
Mm-hmm.
I ask the guests, I ask the drummers, they will leave a parting word of advice for the up and coming guys, which is what we're talking about basically, that are trying to get traction in this game, in this industry,
Right.
trying to get to the next level. Even the guys who are at the next level, would you leave them a word of advice?
Well, for young drummers, and I always tell them to listen to everything, listen to everyone, because everyone has a voice. Yeah, listen to as much music as you can, which we do, we do. But that's the most important thing, and be open. That's for the older drummers. I know that there's a lot of drummers, a lot of musicians like, oh, these young cats, they are the young cats. They have a lot to say. They just have to be guided, and as we're talking about, just the discipline has to kick in. When I first heard someone like Little John, for instance, we were talking about discipline back then. Little John came on the scene and could play church, but also too play that Janet Jackson pocket, and kick it in the butt, So, just be open, and once again, listen to as much music as you can. I have fallen out of buying new music. I have to do that myself. I have to make myself go out and do that. And there's lots of things that are out there, lots of things. So my advice is to keep it fresh, keep loving it. And once again, every time I sit behind the kit, I'm thankful. I'm lucky, fortunate, and blessed that I can count a tune off. And when I sit down behind, the kit with my band, and I'm counting the tune off, which, by the way, you have to come out and see the band. You have to come out to the Baked Potato, come out to wherever we're playing. Fatback Girl and me. Come on out, man. Let me know you're coming. I'll put you on the list. Come on out. And but every time I count off a tune, and every time, towards the end of that tune or in the middle of that tune, when it has that thing where the groove is just simmering and the audience and the band are on one page, there's nothing like that. Nothing like that. And I strive for that every time I sit behind the kit. So there you have it.
Well, we see why they saying words like master and legend
Yeah.
these days behind your name. They're going to put some of those three alphabets back there in a minute. Herman, let me say thank you so very much for coming back to the Extraordinary Drummer Show, brother.
Sharon, is always a pleasure. Thank you.
Will you help us wave goodbye to all the fans?
Take care, folks. Keep it funky.
Thank you, brother. Talk soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.